Yes, it worked. Alright. Just gonna wait. Alright. Alright. Perfect. So I just closed everything off. This would be awful. Game crashed. This is not scuffed at all. Everything is working how it should be. No. Yeah. Then that. Yeah, bruh. Game. Just work. Working how it should be. Working. Definitely working how it should be. Alright. Now. Where's that? Bruh. My game. Can this work? Work. I'm just gonna put some legs. Perfect. See, that's what we were missing. game. Faster. My bed depends on you. My bed depends on you. Hurry up. Wool. Need some wool. Am I about to get jumped? Just get mugged. Find this. I need to sit nice. Relaxing. Nobody's coming for me, because that's the truth. See, this music, these fights, this game can really be it's safe. Bam! You gotta leave. It's my house, not yours. Go, go, run! 4 diamonds? I barely have many. Hey, pal. Did you forget your pickaxe today? No. Get out. Get out of my house. 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 Out, foul beast. Out. This is my house. This is not the home for pink. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you gotta go home. No, ma'am. Ma'am. Go home. Destroyed? I barely knew him. Nice and calm and nobody's... Oh my god. Alright. It's time for no one to die. Yes. First time ever, basically. Alright.
Sword. Sword! You destroyed that! I only knew it was a diamond. Switched to the wrong thing. That is it. Just gonna watch this man. Alright. It's doing a lot better off screen. Come on. Oh wow, I was right. Fall! Fall! TNT! Wait a minute. If I have the power and the strength, I can do that. Bam. Just die. Where you at? Die. I should probably buy some gaunts. Gaunts, yes. But some apples. I need make me wait until I die. That's great. Wool. Decent axe. gonna do? Die. What? Eh? Alright. Time to buy some wool. Don't worry. If they can't get to us, then they don't exist. Probably gonna die. What? Hey, if you can do that, then I can do that, right? No! Just die! Ooh, 6. I'll use this to buy a sword, and then I'll use this. I had all my belongings. Seems like a foolproof plan. I don't think that's gonna save you now. Hi! I'm not ugly. I'm not ugly. If my bed gets destroyed here. What are you gonna do? Best. Yes. It's time to get geared up. Alright. We buy that. Red, how are you alive if you're AFK? Right? A fool? Is this bait? Destroy his bed, then he comes out running. And I die. Hope not. Oh no. He's alive, but why didn't he protect his bed? His bed protected. I'm confused. Ha! 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 Good sir, I don't know if you know where it's going. I think you died. Perfect. Seems to be you. Am I seriously having to 1v2 people? This doesn't seem, that did not seem fair at all. No, that definitely did not seem fair. I had to 1v2 people. What the? Satan? You're alive? Sneaking around. Where was me placing? And now I make a decoy. How's it going, pal? How's it going? What am I stuck on? That's my question. Yellow help. I'm being chased by a maniac. What's that gonna do, boy? Where's my lag coming from? PC I have inside this entire place. I'm sorry, did you all see what just happened? This is the texture pack I'm using. If anybody wants to know. Hello? How's it going? Thank you for your upgrades. Don't mind if I yes.
A hostel is a form of low-cost, short-term lodging, where guests share a multi-bed dormitory with a number of other people. Often the beds are in the form of bunk beds, and the rooms are meant to fit as many people as possible so as to create for a cheaper alternative to hotels and Airbnbs. These rooms can be single or mixed gender, and they can have private or shared bathrooms. Hostels are a common go-to for solo travelers who aren't looking to spend a lot of money on a hotel, or for people who only really plan on using the place to sleep and not really hang out. The 3 stories you're about to hear were recounted by solo travelers who stayed in hostels and had not so great experiences with the people they were sharing their rooms with. I was for a while talking to this French girl that I matched on some dating app after my breakup. We were texting for a while, then started calling and FaceTiming each other almost every night. We connected really well, but she came from a strict family who she still lived with, So when the idea of me visiting her came up, she made it clear she wouldn't be able to host me, and when I asked if she'd want to share a hotel room together, she said not the first couple nights after we met just because her parents would have a freak out. So since I was only 23 and my pockets weren't stuffed, I booked a stay at a hostel not far from her in Paris. I downloaded a couple movies to watch on the 7-hour flight since I already knew I wouldn't be able to sleep. I never can on flights. And I was right. I tried sleeping but didn't even get close. So by the time I landed and then Ubered to the hostel, I was running on 0 hours of sleep within the past 24 hours. I was exhausted. Due to the 6-hour time difference, it was also like 3 in the morning, so at least that meant I could just go crash in the bed in the hostel and I wouldn't be jet lagged the next day. I arrived to the hostel, which admittedly wasn't the nicest place ever. It was small. There was a certain odor to the lobby, and the front desk worker wasn't too enthusiastic about his job. But it was 3 a.m. after all, so I had to cut him some slack. I walked to the room I'd be staying in, and there were 6 beds, 5 of them empty, but one had a guy sitting on it. He was on his laptop, typing away at something. He looked up at me, then back down at his laptop. I said hey, but he didn't respond back. He seemed invested in what he was doing, so I just laid down in one of the empty beds. But the light to the room was still on. I asked him if it was okay that I shut off the light. Then he looked at me with a blank expression but didn't say anything. I repeated what I said, assuming he didn't hear me, and he nodded his head with this weird smile. So I got up and turned off the lights to the room. I passed out pretty quickly due to my lack of sleep, but surprisingly, I woke up a couple hours later. The room was still dark, but I didn't know for sure what woke me up. I rolled over to my side and looked around the room. It was almost pitch black, but I could see that all the beds were empty. All of them. Where was the other guy that was there earlier? The 2 bunk beds next to me were empty, top and bottom, but I knew something had to have woken me up. I looked on my phone, and it was 5 in the morning. I needed sleep, so I said screw it. He probably left, and maybe a sound from out in the hall woke me up. I lay back down on my side and closed my eyes. The mild traffic noises from outside was all that I heard. Then the bed shook a bit, and I heard a little crack of the metal frame, accompanied with this freakish breathing sound. I looked up in horror, and on top of me, I saw a head peering over the edge of the top bunk, looking into the bottom bunk at me. I can see the same creepy smile on his face, and his medium to longish black hair was drooping down with gravity below the top of his head as he hung upside down. It was a horrifying sight that words really can't explain. I screamed and fell off the bed as I realized what I was looking at. He sat up in the top bunk and continued looking at me. I screamed, "What the F are you doing?" as I threw something at him. He started to laugh, this really strange, off-putting laugh. I immediately turned the light on and went through my stuff to make sure nothing was stolen, while watching him at the same time. I then heard a click of a phone camera and looked at him as he was holding his phone up to me, clearly having just taken a picture of me. He was still laughing while looking at me. Something was wrong with this man. I didn't know if he had some screws loose mentally, or if he was doing this with bad intentions. I zipped up my bag and went to the front desk and requested a different room immediately, one of the single private rooms. After explaining why and trying to get a reduced rate, he wouldn't budge, but he said he'd check on the room with the guest that I was just in. I didn't call the police because I didn't know if any laws were broken, but I sure as hell left a review of the hostel. The rest of my trip there was good. I had a good time with the girl I was seeing, but every time I returned to the hostel, I was scared I'd run into that guy. I don't like how a picture of me is on that weirdo's phone. I'm not a physical guy, but I wish in that instance, I did get physical. I'm a solo traveler. I've stayed in countless hostels as a means of saving money, while also meeting new interesting people. I've stayed in a total of about 20 hostels in my life, and 90% of the time I've had good experiences. My first truly awful experience, though, was at a place called Freedom Traveler Hostel. And before I begin, I want to note that my horrible experience wasn't the complete fault of the hostel itself. The Freedom Traveler Hostel is located in Rome. It was my first time ever visiting Rome. I was completely inexperienced to the landscape and relied heavily on Google Maps and locals. In fact, even finding the hostel itself proved challenging as there were no signs for the place outside. But once I found the place, I let myself in through the big brown doors and was greeted by a nice woman working the front counter. I had already booked a stay in one of the 4-person rooms. I was led to the room I'd be staying in, which had 1 bunk bed and 2 single beds, totaling sleeping space for 4 people. The room had a green theme to it, but it wasn't the biggest room. The worker told me there weren't many people staying in the hostel at the moment, which I didn't really have a problem with if it would mean I would have more privacy in the room. The woman had a smile on her face the entire time, and I appreciated her help. She showed me where I could store my luggage, which was actually just some shed in the back garden area. I wasn't impressed nor confident with it, so I decided I'd leave my luggage in the room, especially since I didn't bring anything too valuable. I was exhausted after a whole day of traveling, so after changing clothes and stowing my luggage under the bottom bunk bed, I laid down ready to take a quick power nap. Not long after, I heard a knock at the door, and 2 young men walked in. They had thick Italian accents, I could tell right away. They greeted me and started talking to me, even though I was mid-nap, but I'm polite and social, so I was friendly and chatted with them. They introduced themselves as Marco and Lucio, brothers. Marco had to be like 6'4", he was huge. Lucio was probably 5'11", but he wasn't a toothpick either, and I could see the resemblance in their faces. They were very tan, but both had receding hairlines, even though I could tell they were in their early 20s. They weren't the friendliest looking guys, but at first they seemed okay enough. After getting acquainted in English with them, the 2 brothers started to talk amongst themselves in Italian. They didn't know that I understood though, because right away I understood them to be talking about me and laughing at me. I heard, I believe, Marco describing me as some silly white boy. I could have said something right there in Italian, but instead I wanted to keep the illusion that I didn't speak the language. The 2 brothers eventually got up from their beds and left the room, with Lucio smiling and waving at me as they left. I just realized they didn't have their luggage in the room, which led me to believe they left their luggage in the storage shed in the garden area. I went to the garden area for a bit just to mingle with some of the people sitting out there, and I met a few nice tourists who were also staying there for the weekend. Then off I went to explore the city, heading in the direction of city center. After many hours and 2 food stops later, I returned to the hostel expecting some people to be socializing in the lounge area or in the back garden, but there was no one. So I figured I'd just get some early shut-eye. It was 9 p.m. anyway. I don't remember when I fell asleep, but I remember waking up. The lights in the room were still off, but I heard whispering voices. The brothers were back. I didn't move. I listened to what they were saying, still speaking in Italian. One of them whispered something that roughly translated to, "Just grab it, or are you gonna do it?" I didn't know what it meant, but I had a feeling they were talking about my luggage. I was waiting to hear the sound of my luggage being moved before I would let them know I was awake, but instead, I felt a sweet-smelling, cold and wet cloth being pressed up to my face, and I reacted by yelling and swatting it off my face. I turned to see one of the brothers standing over me. I screamed, "What are you doing?" The man over me, I couldn't tell which one it was, then got on the lower bed with me and tried to subdue me, but I kicked him off and screamed for help. The other brother pulled him away from me, and the 2 men took off out of the room. I quickly grabbed my bag and shoes and went to the front desk for help. The man who was working now said he saw the 2 guys leave, but there was no information on them even staying there. They were 2 random locals who were trying to rob visitors to the hostel. They tried to literally chloroform me. I didn't stay there after that, of course. I'm sure they've upped their security now, but when I stayed there, clearly anybody could have just walked right in. If I wasn't awake, I would have been chloroformed and robbed of my entire bag. After this, I started being more careful of the hostels I stay at. I once went to Miami Beach by myself for the Art Basel, and to
Porofessor is an in-game desktop app. Once the game starts, Porofessor scouts your opponents, learns
Can you hear me now? How did you get inside my house? I found you in my bathroom this morning. How did you get inside my house? Mary? Is your name Mary? I need you to listen to me. I found your wallet and I just want to make sure. Is your name Mary? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Have you got any allergies? I can make you something. It doesn't say on here. Do you have any allergies? Is there anyone that you want me to call? Your mum? Anyone? No one. Do you remember what happened? Last night? Do you remember what happened last night? Mary, what happened last night? Okay, look, doctors will be here in a minute. They'll know the best way to handle this. I'm going now. I'm gonna leave the room, but I'll come back.
Dad? It's worse than before. He's really close.
It's not real. Go to bed. ads on YouTube must be so annoying. But with 3 clicks, you can install an ad blocker and you'll never see ads again. Step 1. Go to ad blocker.
You weren't there before. Nope. Jesus. What? Oh. No way. No. Hello?
Please.